Hello and welcome to another episode of Speak Geek. I know we promised we were going to do weekly episodes, and then we went ahead and broke that promise immediately.
Yeah, guys, that's I don't want to say this is WWE's fault, but it is WWE's fault.
It's WWE's fault. It's life's fault. I do want to say we were going to record last weekend, and then we were like, nah, we're too busy. Let's do a Monday. And on Monday, we were like, we can't do a Monday. Then Tuesday, and by Wednesday, we were like, you know what? There's no point doing it today.
Right. Well,
let's just do it over the weekend.
But to be completely honest, we had it planned for Monday after work. I had a few things come up, and I was like, you know what? Let's just wait, because the Raw after WrestleMania is usually dope, and that way we can kind of be ahead of the curve. And then what happened was not dope at all. And then then I just had no desire to record because it sucked the life out of me.
Yeah. We're just gonna jump straight into wrestling stuff, because last week we had WrestleMania weekend. We had WrestleMania and NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. You came over to watch night one. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll go straight into wrestling talk. Now, it wasn't. Fuck, dude. I know exactly what you're saying. It wasn't that long ago when the night after, where the Raw after Mania, that was like the episode to watch, because you had your debuts, you had your surprise show. I mean, what do we have? We had the Raw after Mania. We had Paige debut and win the women's championship straight from AJ in her first ever match. We had Brock Lesnar debut the Raw after Mania, where he destroyed everyone. What happened, dude?
So here's what I think, and again, I'm taking a step back. I'm still mad at WWE, but I'm taking a step back. WrestleMania weekend, from what we saw, was fan-fucking-tastic, dude.
It really was.
There was a couple matches that I thought were stupid. The Fiend and Randy Orton. Way to go, WWE, for burying the Fiend yet again and destroying Bray Wyatt and just doing this. I'm sorry, man, but I'm hoping the story is better. I kind of like what you're doing with Alexa Bliss, but you have somebody who's as talented and as great as Bray Wyatt, and you give him that shit after all this buildup. I mean, come on, bro. This motherfucker was set on fire and came back.
It's like WWE. It's like WWE can't get past their eyeballs. And by that, I mean, you have someone who's Bray Wyatt, who, for all intents and purposes, should not be able to do the things physically that he can for his physique. And I don't think WWE can get past the fat guy. I think that's all they're able to see, because if you look, you have guys like that should be pushed to the moon just because they're great on the mic, they're great at acting, they're great wrestlers, period. But WWE just can't stop. I just don't think they can see past he's a big fat guy and he's not built like Randy Orton, so we don't know what to do with him.
Dude, you're so right. And it's extremely frustrating, because when you see a talent like a Keith Lee or Kevin Owens, or you have who are Samoa Joe, who we're going to get into in a little bit, like you have these talents who on the main roster are getting overlooked. But then you look at NXT and you look at the match that Johnny Gargano had against I can't draw a blank on his name, but I have never seen a big man aside of Keith Lee move like that, you know. And
remember when Keith Lee went up against Brock at the Rumble?
Yeah, and Brock was like, "Okay,
I thought they were going to push him to the moon," and then what happened? Nothing.
Which again is fine, because Keith Lee is a little green. NXT and WWE are two completely different worlds, and we sit on the outside and we don't know what's going on the inside. But I think that you have a tale of two nights with WWE with WrestleMania. First of all, I love the 2-night format. I really hope WWE keeps doing this in the future. I think that that WrestleMania weekend should be an entire week-long destination once life gets back to normal. You fly out to your destination. You've got the Monday Night Raw, the go-home show. Then you have yourself your NXT shows. And then you have yourself your fucking SmackDown. And then you have your 2-night WrestleMania. And in that, you have your Hall of Fame. And you have your just everything. And you make it a week-long
Hall
destination.
of Fame, access, all that stuff.
Dude, and I think that's dope. So they did this. But to me, Night 1 and Night 2 looked like they were written and booked by two different people. Night 1 looked like Triple H and younger Future Vision talents booked it. And Night 2 looked like Vince McMahon booked it.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. That it sticks. Now, I didn't even notice that until you mentioned it now. And thinking back at the match list and the quality and everything, sticks out like a sore thumb. Night 1 may as well have been an NXT show.
Dude, phenomenal.
Yeah. And I mean that in a good way. It may as well have been a takeover. Takeovers are always superior, in my opinion.
Right. And with NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver, that Walter Ciampa match, my chest still hurts. Like, I text you because you watched it. I watched it live and you kind of watched it after. And I was like, dude, the Walter Ciampa match is the craziest shit I've ever seen. These two dudes, oh my God. Ciampa.
And it wasn't pretty. It looked like a real fight. Just everything was physical. Like the best way I could describe it, I was talking to someone else about it the other day. The best way I could describe it, it's the kind of fight you could smell. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just it was just physical. Like you could smell and taste it. There was nothing pretty about it.
No.
And I was just like, ugh, the whole fight.
And Walter's a beast, and what I like about Walter is that Walter refuses to do work in the U.S. unless it's these events. He will not leave NXT UK. He has no desire to work in America. Dude does not like America. Doesn't want to do it. He'll do it when he has to. Has no fucking desire. Yeah. And what's great about that is that he keeps what he wants because he's not trying to impress Vince. He's not trying to change what he's doing.
Yeah.
He just continues to be him, which is why you had this big burly man who, again, just looks like a big fat guy. Not a big fat guy, but he just looks like a big guy.
I was going to say, I like Walter because of representation, and by representation I don't mean white guy from England. I mean fat out of shape beer belly guy like me.
Right, somebody who looks like, exactly, and somebody who looks like they can slap the shit out of you. But I will tell you right now, I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on all the wrestling stuff, which is why I want to do it first.
On
it's
Walter.
been a long time. Yeah, on Walter. But dude, WrestleMania 37 was really great. The main event between Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and Edge was way better than I expected. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. You've got first of all, Bad Bunny.
That match was so good, and they did not need Logan Paul at all.
Not at all.
Logan Paul, man. I don't even know why he's in there.
He was just there so Kevin Owens could stun him. But it's funny that WWE talks about their bottom line and how they don't have enough money and they're releasing wrestlers, yet they managed to bring Logan Paul in for fucking WrestleMania on a private jet.
Yeah.
But dude, whatever. WrestleMania was great. I just wanted to make sure that we touched on it briefly because what really sucks is that we were sitting there WrestleMania night, and we were talking about, and this is going to lead us into our next topic here. We were talking about how funny it looked with Samoa Joe sitting there with his poncho on in the rain and like his grim little face. And
wait! But before we continue into any of the stuff we have on the list, let's talk about the Bad Bunny match because I went into WrestleMania going, okay, I get Bad Bunny. He's a big star in the music world, but I don't fucking get this. I don't like it when WWE brings in celebrity wrestlers, not celebrity, celebrities to wrestle. They always suck with the exception of maybe one or two. I just don't get it. And Bad Bunny basically made me eat my words because I have never seen, outside of Stephen Amell, a celebrity work his ass off and sell and pull. He did a fucking Canadian Destroyer.
Right. And
Bad Bunny did a Canadian Destroyer.
And the reason is, and my brother watched WrestleMania, and he said that he doesn't watch wrestling, he watches it very rarely. And he was saying the same thing. He's like, dude, who the fuck is this guy coming on the truck with all this and everything else? Bad Bunny started the match, put on almost a 15-minute match against The Miz and Morrison, and all props in the world go to The Miz and Morrison because they could have been complete assholes. They could have not sold for Bad Bunny. They could have just been like, oh, here's another celebrity. But from what I've heard...
Yeah, credit where credit is due. I mean, half those moves were pulled off by Miz and Morrison to make Bad Bunny look good.
But,
so, I mean, Bad Bunny, I'm sure he trained his ass off. He did great.
Well, that's
but yes, you're absolutely right. Miz and Morrison, my God. They props to them.
For the past year... Bad Bunny has been in WWE Performance Center 3 to 4 hours a day practicing on these moves. He is somebody, and there's a difference between a Drew Carey coming in and a Bad Bunny coming in. And I'm only saying this because I'm with you. I hate celebrity appearances. I hated when we had the celebrity guest hosts of Raw, and you got Jeremy Piven and all these fucking people who don't even know what's going on. They're just names to draw attention, and I fucking hate it. And when Bad Bunny came in,
fucking Muppets.
Yes. Oh my God, dude. I mean, don't get me wrong. I give Bob Barker his props, man, because Bob Barker deserves to be in every single Hall of Fame, but still, it's like, bro, come on, man. But Bad Bunny came in. He is somebody who has a love for this. He has a passion for this, and he respects the business that he came in and trained and did what he needed to do, to the point that even Randy Orton said he is a superstar. Like, he's earned my respect.
Yeah, I saw that,
And that's huge because Randy Orton hates everybody, and
he really does.
If after the WrestleMania match on night 2, Triple H gave Bad Bunny a microphone, so Bad Bunny is going on tour in 2022. Now, here's what's crazy about this is that if you don't know, because you live in America, Bad Bunny is one of the biggest musical names in the world. Like Latin music, he is so big that when his tickets got released on Monday for the 2022 tour, they broke Ticketmaster within minutes. Like, they couldn't buy his tickets. So for him to come in and do what he did on that WrestleMania stage for WWE...
When he never had to do that. When he never had to put in the work.
He is somebody who is one of the biggest musical acts in the world. He's a Grammy winner, for God's sake. So he doesn't have to do this. But he went in there and put his career as a musician on the line to do a fucking Canadian destroyer. You know what I mean? So it's like, dude... He gets all the props, and WWE is smart because not only did they have Bad Bunny in there and he did that, they just went from having 1.2 to 3 million viewers on the WWE network who were watching WrestleMania to 30 million subscribers on Peacock. And Peacock wasn't like hiding this. Whenever you logged on the Peacock, you saw WrestleMania. So let's say you log on to Peacock.
On that banner.
Right. And all of a sudden you see Bad Bunny and you're like, holy shit, I like his music. What's he doing? Then you turn it on, you see that match. You're going to watch the next match because they just fucking put on a show. The next thing you know, you're cheering for Bianca and Sasha. So I think that WWE showed all the shit that we'll give them, how smart they can be when you let somebody younger who's in touch with things do this. Because we all know Triple H is a Motorhead, Metallica, hard rock guy, but yet he's bringing in these acts like Poppy on NXT, or he's bringing in fucking Bad Bunny. And he understands that wrestling isn't for him. Wrestling is for everybody. And I'm just very excited that we got Bad Bunny, and I hope that this opens up the door for more people to take A, wrestling seriously, and B, more people not be ashamed to be a wrestling fan and show up and put in the time. That's why, I mean, look at Shaq with AEW. I was blown away with how well Shaq did with AEW. Like, I was like, holy shit. Yeah. And then Bad Bunny comes in and just blows that out of the fucking water. So I'm excited. I really am for what Bad Bunny did. And if Bad Bunny decides in a year he wants to come back and wrestle for WWE, dude, I will gladly watch him wrestle anybody else.
Yeah. Hey, on the topic of Bianca Belair, how about that hair whip?
Dude, when that hair whip happened, I for sure thought it was fake. I was like, man, they had to put that sound in because Peacock was delayed a little bit. But when I saw everybody in the crowd turn around, I was like, oh my God, she killed her.
I bet you it was the sort of thing where they were going through the match backstage and Sasha was like, okay, yeah, you're going to whip me with the hair at the end and da-da-da-da-da. This is how we're going to end the match. I don't think in any way Sasha thought it was going to do that to her.
Dude, see, and that's where there's no way you can do a working whip. There's just no way. There's absolutely no way. So the fact that Sasha was like, yo, do it. And just fucking do it. Like, don't half-ass it. If you're gonna do it,
into me as hard as you can.
Because what's crazy is that whip right there was the most brutal thing I've seen. And it was just a fucking hair whip. The sound of it, like, I felt it, dude. My brother called me and he's like, dude, did you see that? I was like, yes.
Yeah.
But when you see the videos after, and I can't wait to get the WWE 24 of this, where you see Sasha sitting on the ground outside and she's trying so hard to hide her smile and like just kind of fight back like how proud she is of that match. Dude, it just goes to show that like Sasha Banks, who by the way has never won at a pay-per-view event ever, by the way. She has never won at a pay-per-view in a singles match. For her to sit there and have that smile on her face is breathtaking. And what's crazy, also, I work out, I'm a relatively in shape guy. When Bianca Belair picked up Sasha Banks over her head and walked up the stairs, dude, I couldn't do that with my 11
for like a minute and a half. Yeah,
I couldn't do that with my 11-year-old right now, and yet she just fucking did that with a grown woman. Woo! Dude, she is the EST of WWE, for real. Like, I mean, I was blown away at that match and that hair whip, and I would
fuck Jim Cornette for not liking that match.
Right, well, just because Jim Cornette's a racist prick, he has a ton of wrestling knowledge, but just like all these other racist pricks of history, you just need to go away silently. Like, nobody cares anymore, bro. You've had your time. Like, I give Cornette a pass until he said he's the only guy who can go through Ethiopia with a bucket of fried chicken on his back. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, completely forgot about that. Yep.
Never. Some people never forget.
Yep. All right, let's move on. So we had this awesome WrestleMania weekend. We had this awesome NXT weekend. We had, Raw after.
Well, what's crazy is, and before we get to these releases, is that I had heard Sunday night after WrestleMania going to Monday morning that Samoa Joe had been taken off from the announcers. So I'm like, dude, that's dope because that means he's got to be cleared.
We were like, back to in-ring.
Right, he's going to be cleared. He's going to be a surprise on Monday or Friday. Everybody had been calling this, and then all of a sudden, you get the fucking hammer and you release Samoa Joe.
So let's talk about the bigger names that were released. So we had Mojo that was released. We had Mickie James that was released. Now that one, I like Mickie James a lot, but that one's not a huge shock because she's kind of at the tail end of her career.
But that
I can't imagine she's cheap.
Yeah, but dude, so she's just going to end up in AEW. Like, how the fuck? I'm sorry, but how do you have...
I guarantee you all these people will.
Right, you let go of Mickie James, you let go of Samoa Joe, you let go of fucking Sting, and you're just like, oh well. But yet you're still going to sit here, and I'm sorry, and you're going to keep stupid-ass Hulk Hogan on a contract. Like,
you think Mickie James will go to Impact? Because she used to be the TNA Women's Champ.
She could, but I mean, I think that the AEW Women's Division right now could definitely... they don't need help, huge. But Mickie James and the way the AEW division is, I think that she would be a great fit, and I can see her putting on a classic with
I think
Baker,
so too, yeah.
Thunder Rosa. I'm all for it, man. I mean, I could see Mickie James coming in there and going at it with Nyla Rose because she's got Vicky Guerrero with her, and I can just see that like just being a good story. And I mean, it's just this stuff sucks. And Billie Kay, by the way, was funny as shit at WrestleMania.
I was going to say, I can't believe they let the Iconics go because that seems to be the sort of act that WWE really likes. But where do you think they end up? Do you think they end up together again in a promotion or separate? I mean, Peyton, I think for sure is going to AEW just I just think, with all the travel and stuff like that, it would be nice to actually be in a promotion with her husband. So great.
Who's she married to
What
again?
do you think? Sean Spears.
Sean Spears, that's what I thought, yeah.
Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10.
The perfect 10. I like him in AEW.
I loved that gimmick, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, but what do you think about the Iconics?
Dude, I like the Iconics because they were a comedy angle, but I also think that the Iconics, to me at least, were kind of a reminiscent of a bygone WWE era where it was like, we just want people who are funny and look good, not so much wrestling talent. Because when you have Shayna Baszler and Ruby Riott and Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair, all that kind of stuff, the Iconics just got kind of pushed aside because they weren't really...
They can hold their own, though. They were good in NXT.
Well,
they for sure can go.
So they can hold their own. They're a great tag team, but WWE didn't do anything with them. They were the first ever women's tag team, was the Iconics. So,
champions,
They definitely saw something in them, but WWE is making a bunch of weird decisions. And I don't understand...
They really are.
The decisions, because again, somebody like Samoa Joe or a Kalisto or a Billie Kay or any of these people could still do and go, and they have a fan base, and the reason that they're not getting quote unquote over in fucking WWE or whatever it is because you're not giving them anything they can fucking get over on. Like you have a team like the Iconics who have been a tag team, who have been together since NXT, and you break them up, and then you make some half-ass tag team of Natty and Tamina and fucking Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, and they're they're all singles talent when you have legit tag teams who have been doing this for years. And again, WWE is known for doing that, and I hate that. And it's always the same shit. They're gonna have this massive feud between two single stars who eventually are gonna have to tag with each other to win a match. And I'm sorry, but if I'm in a blood feud with Roman Reigns, I don't want to fucking tag him just to win a tag team match to have momentum going to WrestleMania. I'm gonna walk the fuck out. So I just don't understand what they're doing, and I think that the best way to describe this is WWE is like Marvel. It's for the kids. Everybody can watch it. Everybody can have a good time. But AEW is for the adults. It's more DC. It's more like where it's at. They've got Mike Tyson and Chris Jericho, and they can say bullshit and cuss and stuff. I don't know, man. It just sucks because I was coming in off this high off of WrestleMania, and I'm like, dude, Raw after Mania is going to be dope, or SmackDown after Mania is going to be dope, and it just wasn't. And I think the biggest reason is, and again, I'll give WWE a pass, is because they went from being in front of 25,000 fans to being right back in the Thunderdome. So why do you want Brock Lesnar to come back to the Thunderdome, or whatever it is? So I understand it, but so we have to give them the benefit of the doubt. But if you have these names, why not have something show up at WrestleMania with all the crowd? Or you know what I mean? I don't know, man.
I don't know.
So, but I also understand that they're trying to go forward with the future. So let's move forward. There's no reason to go back to the past or bring in a Brock Lesnar, because I want to see Roman Reigns go against The Rock at 2022 in Texas, or have it happen in LA, because that's where it needs to be. You're taking this whole tribal chief, head of the table stuff. Really, well, Uncle Rock over here is destroying the world, and you're just kind of hanging out. You know what I mean? So I think that's where they could go, and I'm fine with waiting for that because The Rock is somebody who needs crowds. But I'm just rambling about fucking wrestling because it pisses me off. So who knows?
No, I wanted to add to that before we moved on to gaming news. Now, I'm sad about this, and I don't even know why. One of the wrestlers that was released was Bo Dallas, and back when he was doing the Bo Leave shit, I thought that was the funniest shit ever.
Yep.
Remember what was the name of that little bowl guy? You remember him?
Dude, I do, and
El Torito. El Torito, right?
El Torito, I think, yes. And just
you remember when Bo Dallas was taking his victory laps, and then he just knocks El Torito over and doesn't even notice him?
Yes, dude, I loved it, dude. Well, see, and that's what sucks is that you release Bo Dallas when he could easily be somebody who could sit there and do something with fucking Bray Wyatt. Right, like have him come in and have
he's
him part
from that Rotunda family.
Right.
He has that pedigree and can wrestle. And if you're going to jerk off over Tamina's pedigree with the Snukas, why not with the Rotunda family? I mean, Bray and Bo and all these guys deserve a lot more than they're getting.
Like Bo Dallas is somebody who could have easily came in with Bray Wyatt and been part of this Fiend and been somebody else who was coming in.
Yeah,
you know what
part
I mean?
of the Wyatt family.
Right. Or like all of a sudden Alexa's like, oh, does this stuff with Bray Wyatt, but there's somebody else, and it turns out to be Bo Dallas. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And you could do these stories for years, but instead WWE's like, nah, man, we can't do that. We're gonna keep pushing this, and it sucks. It's frustrating, and again, I understand why WWE is doing it because they want the biggest and the best. There's no reason to blow their load on Thunderdome, and they are aware of what they're going to have to do. and dude, I get it. AEW, they're in Florida. They have fans every single Wednesday. They're kind of doing stuff differently, and that's why they're winning. That's why NXT moved to Tuesdays, and AEW is on Wednesdays because AEW is beating the shit at NXT. But by NXT going to Tuesday, now the fans win because on Wednesday night alone, AEW pulled in over 1 million viewers on Wednesday night for AEW.
Now they don't have to choose.
Right. And NXT on Tuesday got almost 1 million viewers. We don't have to choose anymore.
Yeah.
So and I think that WWE has all their money invested in SmackDown. Fox owns SmackDown. They got money there. SmackDown is where things are going to be. But I mean that's it. It was WrestleMania great. Everything else sucked. NXT stand and deliver, in my opinion, just as good, if not some matches better than WrestleMania. Because that unsanctioned match with O'Reilly and fucking Adam Cole. God.
Adam Cole.
Oh my God. Such a good match. Such a good match.
Yep.
Okay, now let's get on to some fun stuff.
So many ups and downs, man. Let's move on to some gaming news. Let's talk about Oddworld. I couldn't even say it. Oddworld Soulstorm. There's a tongue twister for you. Mm-hmm. Now, that was a free game for PS Plus. There's a lot of first-party games that are coming out as free for PS Plus now, which is great because I think Sony's sitting there going, man, Game Pass, look at that. We need to do something similar if they're not going to have their own version of Game Pass.
Yep.
And if they're going to be handing out these PS5 exclusives as part of PS Plus, I'm all for it. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I haven't played an Oddworld game since, like, PS1.
Boo.
So, yeah, it's been a long time, and I downloaded this, started playing it. Cannot stop. Looks so fucking good. And I know I told you this just between me and you one time. I don't know why, but I cannot stop looking at the skin. It just looks so good.
Mm-hmm. It does, dude. Oddworld, I liked the Oddworld games because I like those kind of puzzle solve stuff. To me, they're fun.
Yeah,
like that's
and it's weird as shit.
It is. It's weird as shit. You would text me, you're like, I don't like the sound quality, but to me, the sound and the voices of the game make it that cool thing because you have this visually beautiful game, and then it sounds like a voice from 1989. And I'm like, all right, that's what we're doing. So, dude, it's cool. It's so cool and it's beautiful. And I think you're right. I think that PlayStation is going to keep releasing these PS5 games like this, these bigger games, because Game Pass. Right, because Game Pass is kicking the shit out of PlayStation. And here's the problem. And I've said this before, and Xbox is like Netflix and and Sony is like an Oscar-winning movie studio. They're going to be hits and misses. They're going to be far between, but each one is going to be good. And then with the Xbox, you're going to get a ton of shit thrown out there. You're going to find one or two games that you like, and you're going to stick with it. I don't know if we put this one on the notes. Doesn't look like it, but I just found a free game last night called Enlisted. that I showed you about. It's a free game.
Yeah.
4K HDR, runs at 60 frames per second. It's a World War II fucking battle game, and you just go into these battles in World War II. I played it for like 7 minutes for the training. So fucking great. I guess it's a beta, so I guess it's still like a testing mode, I guess.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, but it doesn't say
like
that.
An early release?
Yeah, but when I was looking it up, that's what it was. Dude, and it's great on the Xbox. Would I pay $60 for it? Fuck no. But since it's free, I'm going to download it and play the shit out of it. And that's where Xbox is going to win. And it's tough. It really is. But like my PlayStation, again, are games that I buy and I sit down and I play by myself. And that's why I like Oddworld. That's why I love it. That's why I like that kind of game. And I feel like by Sony putting these classics out or putting out these PS5 exclusives, you're going to get more people who want to buy it. Because right now, if you go out and buy a PS5, all you have to do is buy the PS5 and your PlayStation Plus. You don't have to spend $70 on one game. You can spend $70 and get 6 months of PS5 and have all these games to play now.
Yeah. Now, since we're on the topic of Game Pass and everything like that, I want to bring up MLB The Show 21 because I completely forgot that it was coming out so soon. And you were like, I pre-downloaded it or pre-installed it on Game Pass. And that just brought up a whole new, a whole can of worms for me now. Okay. First of all, fanboyism needs to die. So if you're one of those toxic fanboys that blindly follows a brand, you can go fuck yourself.
Right.
Because that has caused more toxicity than we ever needed to have. With that being said, how do you think PlayStation fans feel about one of their first-party exclusives, a big one at that, becoming free on Game Pass while PlayStation fans have to pay for it on PlayStation?
Well,
because what the hell?
Right. Well, first, I think toxic fans are stupid because you're bitching about, you're sitting there complaining about who you're deciding to spend your money with. Like, fuck off. Nobody's paying, like, until somebody pays me, I'm not loyal to any fucking brand, so it doesn't fucking matter. I spent my money on all of them, and they all have pluses and minuses. All you fanboys suck a dick. No, I don't think this is a fuck you to the fans because PlayStation.
No, I don't think so either. But my God, but I mean, how if you are one of those blind fanboys, I'm trying to be in their shoes right now, it absolutely feels and looks like a big fuck you.
But PlayStation is getting Sea of Thieves.
Are they really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so that's where it's like it's not, because Sea of Thieves is this huge multiplayer on Microsoft that they're giving to Xbox for free, to PlayStation for free. So PS5 is going to get Sea of Thieves, and MLB The Show is going to be on Game Pass. So
fuck Sea of Thieves, because I spent like 4 hours when it first came out just building my ship, gathering a bunch of treasure, just having a good time. And I went onto an island to go look for something, and some fucking player came and sank my ship.
That's funny. I've never touched it since. I've never even turned it on because I'm just like, this isn't my kind of game. But apparently,
it's fun, but not after that.
I hear it's like a huge multiplayer world and it's fun. So I think that's cool because I think PlayStation fans would like something like that. You know, a game like that that's fun. So it's kind of an even trade-off. Yeah. Plus, you know, Xbox does have EA, the EA Play or whatever it is. So they have a ton of fucking EA games over there. And they got NBA 2K21 on Game Pass right now. So it makes sense. But I'm curious if there is a difference between the PlayStation version and the Xbox version. Are there haptics involved with the PS5 controller where the playing experience is better? Because I'll tell you right now, because for me, when I have a choice, I always go my PS5 because that is my favorite controller. I have the Elite 2, which you just got, and I want your impressions of that in a second. But like the Elite 2 is a fucking amazing controller, but I love the haptics in my PS5 when I'm playing shooting games and other games. So, okay, yeah, you got to pay for it on Sony, but you're getting a different experience. Okay, cool.
It's just weird because MLB The Show is developed by San Diego, the San Diego studio, which is a first-party Sony studio. It just blows my mind that I can turn on Game Pass and see a fucking game developed by a Sony studio sitting there and I don't have to pay an extra penny for.
I'll call it right now, in the next 2 to 3 years, I don't think it's going to matter. I think that everything will be able to play online together. If you want to play, there will continue to be like single player story exclusives, like, you know, like Ghost of Tsushima or like an Uncharted or whatever it is. But I think that the times of, Oh, like I have 2K21 PGA Tour on my Xbox. You got it on your Xbox. A friend of ours has it on the Xbox. My brother has a PlayStation, so I can't play with them? Like, come on, man. You know that's going to go away because there's no need for that anymore when you're just dividing everything down the middle, and then you've got Nintendo out here on the third part that just is kind of like, hey, we have bright colors.
Well, the walls are being broken down there too because fucking Ori and the Will of the Wisps is available on the Switch.
Yes,
that's an Xbox first party game.
Yes,
so I mean they're all starting to kind of together, you know.
And they should because when you do that, it's better for everyone because then everybody wins.
I agree. Yeah.
Like we're way past the day where are you a Mario or are you a Sonic or are you a Crash Bandicoot or are you Tomb Raider or are you a Halo? Like, bro, it doesn't fucking matter. I like to play video games.
And crossplay can be done. Just look at Fortnite. I can play on my phone, my kids can play on their tablets, and someone can play on their Xbox, so we can all play together.
Yeah. And
now I don't fucking play Fortnite, but you know, right. I'm just saying it could be done.
And it will happen. I guarantee in the next couple of years it's going to happen because I mean, just look at Minecraft. Just look at like Roblox.
Yes, exactly.
Minecraft you can play on fucking everything. So it's possible to do. Yeah. They're just going to have to take their time to do it. But again, I think that PlayStation knows what they're doing. I mean, I've never bought the show. I think the last show I played was like 2009 on my PSP, I think.
Mine was like 2017.
The Bigs
it was a few years ago.
I played the Bigs too. Whoever made that one.
The Bigs. I don't remember who made that one.
But I mean,
was that an EA one?
It might be. I don't know. I got to look it up.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It's not important. But like, I'm gonna download this game and I'm gonna fucking play it because I'm gonna do some home run derbies. So.
Oh fuck yeah. Yeah. Plus, baseball games are kind of like golf games to me. They're not the action pack. Gotta be there every second. You can kind of just play and chill and relax and not really. Dude. You know, just take your time with it.
Right. Well, anybody listening to this who doesn't, if you get PGA Tour 2K21, dude, add us on Xbox. Let's get down and play golf together because that shit is a blast, dude. It's so much fun to sit there, headphones on, talking shit, playing skins, having some beers in your living room. It's great.
It really is. It really is. Now, let's move on to the PS5 system update we just got. I believe this is the first major system update that actually made some, major system changes.
Absolutely.
Not just patches, the fix shit. Now, this system update is big because it allows you finally, something Xbox has been able to do since the Series X and S launched, you can finally take your PS5 games and offload them from internal storage onto external storage for, cold storage, so you don't have to re-download them.
Yep.
Which is great because, let's put it this way, NBA 2K21, I own that for PS5, but it's 100 gigabytes. It's Call of Duty sized, and then Watch Dogs is like 70 gigabytes. I like both those games. I bought them for, obviously because I like them, but I don't play them all the time. I play them like once a month. Well, guess what? Now I can fucking offload them for storage.
Smart.
But storage aside, I think the biggest change to the system, and you and I talked about this, is before this update, when I had like a PS4 game, I don't know, like let's say Persona 5, and I'm done with it and I want to delete it, it leaves that fucking grayed out icon on your homepage that you can't get rid of.
I hated that.
Well, that is fixed now.
And I'm
really happy about that.
I'm so happy because
everything looks clean.
Right, dude. Like I had Call of Duty 3 Zombies on there, like when I first got the PS5 to kind of play it, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool," and then deleted it. But it was always on my home screen, all grayed out, and I'm like, "Why is this here? Just fucking get away from me!"
I'll do you one better. I had PS Now for 1 month, and by the end of the month, I deleted like 19 PS Now games.
Yep.
For like a month and a half, my entire home screen was just filled with empty gray icons.
God, dude, I hated that. And I was like, how the fuck do you get rid of this?
That was fucked up.
So I'm glad they did it. Yeah. I'm glad they did it. So this is good. I'm glad because I like this. I have, like, for me, like, I have Spider-Man remastered, right? And I'm not going to go back and play it anytime soon. So I just put it on my external hard drive.
I just re-platinumed it.
Yeah, see, and like I need to go back. I'm like 80% of the way done. I can finish it, but like there's so many other things that I'm enjoying right now, so I'm just gonna offload it and I can put it back on. The only thing that I don't like though is that unlike the Xbox, the PS5 you can only use one external hard drive, and it gets tough because I have years of PS4 games and stuff that I have saved on there that I don't want to get rid of completely. So it's kind of like, what am I supposed to do? And then I don't want to have to.
Right.
I mean, in all reality, I could just unplug a hard drive, and put all my PS4 games on one hard drive and on my PS5
but no one wants to do that.
Right. It's just kind of a fucking pain in the ass. So I'm hoping that becomes something that they add, because with the Xbox, I can have 2 externals. It makes it so much better, especially with all the Game Pass games. So
I don't think so, just because the PS4 was never able to do more than one either for its entire lifespan.
Yeah, but we are kind of in a...
I don't know. I hope so too. But
yeah, but also too, it was way easier and cheaper to go in and expand your internal hard drive on a PS4 and everything else than it is now with the SSD. So I mean, maybe I'm hoping. But
before we go into expandable storage, I want to talk about what this fucking system update did to me.
Yes, please do.
Now, I don't know if this is a widespread issue or not, because I can't really find any information on Reddit, at least for the specific issue I'm running into. But here's my problem. I can play every game okay and it doesn't crash. I can put it into, I can shut it down. I can download. I can go into the menus, whatever. Everything works exactly as intended. However, ever since this update dropped and I downloaded it, when I go to my sound settings, which, thank goodness I don't need to do often, but I went in there yesterday just to check something. And as soon as I go into my sound settings via the system settings, the PS turns into a black screen, and then it goes, you had an error. It gives me the error code, and I cannot for the life of me, even after a hard reboot, even rebooting it into safe mode, any of that stuff, I cannot for the life of me get back into my sound settings, specifically the sound settings, nothing else.
Really?
So, easy workaround, just don't go into the fucking sound settings. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. I've still been playing it and everything. I'm about to start my 3rd playthrough of God of War. Great. But for some reason, I can't go into the sound settings anymore until they... I don't even know if they'll patch this, because I don't know how widespread of an issue it is.
It might not...
So how weird is that shit?
That is kind of weird. But, I haven't... I don't know. I haven't gone to my sound settings, so maybe I'll go into my sound settings and see too as well. But, how often are people changing their sound settings?
Exactly, which is why I was saying, thank goodness it's just the sound settings, because the only reason why I went in there to begin with was I wanted to double check something. That's it.
Yeah.
I have no reason to be in there at all.
Yeah. It's probably something that could get fixed, but it seems that more of the digital PlayStations are having the problem. Although I will say, Oddworld crashes my PS5 as well, which is weird, because if I put
we were talking about that, and it's weird because it's fine on mine.
Yeah, so
what happens when you do what's the crash?
I'll put my unlike my PS5 hasn't had any issues, so I always put it in rest mode. I don't ever shut down the game or turn it off. So if I keep Oddworld in rest mode, when I go in, my PlayStation is turned off, so it'll turn on and tell me that the way my PlayStation was turned off, and it reboots. So your external.
Oh, does it rebuild the database and all that?
Yeah, so it has to rebuild the database like a system crash, and I don't know why. But when I close out of Oddworld completely, doesn't happen. It's just whenever Oddworld's on.
Does it do it when you're in rest mode for other games?
Nope, just Oddworld.
Just Oddworld?
Yeah, I never had it happen. Actually, it's a lie. I had it happen with Call of Duty. And remember, I was bitching about it because it would just shut off halfway through the fuck. Yeah,
that's fucking Call of Duty. Yeah, that's been bringing.
And then just Oddworld with this, so it's weird. But who knows? I just turn it off now. Doesn't matter.
That is weird. Yeah, it is what it is. I guess. I mean, we're early adopters. We're still within that first year bubble where, this is kind of the price we have to pay for being early adopters. We're basically beta testing for Sony and Microsoft.
And I'm not mad about it. Not mad about it at all.
Nope. I mean, we're within that warranty frame, so if my console does get bricked for whatever reason, get a replacement.
It's growing pains. The amount of problems I have are definitely outweighed by the amount of fun I have, so.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of putting it. Now, since we're talking about expandable storage and everything, a lot of people misread this system update, and they thought we were getting expandable internal storage, which is not the case. Now, at first, I misread it too, and I was like, yeah, expandable internal storage. And then I had to take a step back and think about it. And I jumped on bestbuy.com just to kind of shop around.
Absolutely.
We know that the internal SSD NVMe drive is going to have to be very specific models that can handle the read and write speeds. You can't just pop any M2 drive in there and call it a day. It's not going to work like that. Now, the ones that do work with the read-write speeds of the PS5, if you want to do a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte, those drives still cost as much as the fucking console.
Yes.
So why is everybody so excited about internal storage when none of us can afford it right now?
Right. And again,
wait a year or two,
dude. Exactly. And there's everybody wants convenience right now, and they act like it's such a big deal that you would have to offload games from your internal to your external. Bro, just do it. Just get it over with.
It's the easiest thing. It's a 7-minute wait.
Right.
Go to the bathroom. Go jerk off. Go make a sandwich. I don't know. You'll do all of that in 7 minutes. 7 minutes might be a little long for jerking off, but whatever.
Oh, that's funny.
You know I'm right. No one sits there for 7 minutes and does that.
Oh my God, you're so true. That's 100% true.
You're silent. Are you telling me you light candles, turn the lights off, grab a glass of wine, and spend 7 minutes jerking off?
We are not talking about jerking off on a podcast. We're in the middle of talking about expanding external hard drives.
All right, then. Well, let's move on from that tangent, I suppose. Expanding the internal hard drive. Yes, it's pricey.
It is pricey, man, but just fucking deal with it, man. Just get the external.
It'll come.
Yeah, it'll get there. That's what she said.
It'll get. I guarantee you. Let's say Sony today goes, fine, we're gonna unlock that second internal slot, and you go ahead and expand to your heart's content. I guarantee you, Twitter's gonna blow up with, "Whoa, they're so expensive." Well, no fucking shit. We all knew that.
Yes, no shit. We knew they were expensive. Yeah. But everybody wants it right now. They want it as soon as they can and as cheap as they can. Yeah. It's like, I hate to break it to you, but you're going to have to wait. And it's going to get there. It's going to get there. But just wait. Just wait. It hasn't been a year. It hasn't even been 6 months yet with these systems.
Yeah, really. I think people forget. These came out in November. It wasn't that long ago.
April, we're at 5 months. We're not even at 6 months yet. So let's calm it down, guys. We're gonna get there. I swear to you, we're gonna get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking people.
Okay, so let's move on. So a couple months ago, we got news that IO Interactive, the makers of the Hitman series, are going to be doing a 007 game. And remember, we were talking about that, and we were like, well, what is it going to be? Is it going to be Daniel Craig? Is it going to be their own James Bond? What story are they going to use? All that.
Yeah,
remember that?
I do, absolutely.
So we just got word from IO Interactive that it's going to be a brand new Bond, their own Bond, and obviously a brand new story. And now they haven't really, gotten into any details about whether or not this is going to be a shooter or if it's going to be more, slow and methodical, like a Hitman style game, which personally I think works perfectly for the Bond franchise.
Yes, absolutely.
Other than the Daniel Craig and late Pierce Brosnan movies, I mean, Bond was never action films.
No, not at all.
So what do you think about this? Did you ever play any of the older Bond games? Not GoldenEye, but I'm talking about the shit on like PS2 and Xbox.
I love
Everything or Nothing.
I love From Russia with Love. I thought that game was a blast.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I'm hoping that we're gonna get with this game is more kind of like
like a third person kind of almost like a Splinter Cell Metal Gear type.
Because that's what I feel like we need more of because I really kind of enjoy those games, but the Splinter Cell ones and stuff like that, they kind of show their age when you look at them now. So it's like, maybe it's time to do something different. And I think that James Bond, you have a chance now where you could cast any kind of James Bond you want and tell a good story. Totally. So I'm curious if they're going to stick to your classic white English James Bond telling a familiar story, or if they're going to cast,
they will.
Or if we're going to get a black James Bond, or if we're going to get something different and they're going to take a chance with this. Since you know what I mean? So it's interesting to see where they go with it, but I'm very excited because I trust IO Interactive. They know what they're doing. The Hitman 3 game.
Yeah, the Hitman games are great. So.
It's great. And the look, style, and feel of those Hitman games is very much a James Bond type game. Very slow, methodical. So they're in good hands, and I think the best thing that they could do is break away from their stories, break away from a character, tell their own story, tell their own characters' lives, and do this. And I think, again, I could be fucking off here, but I think the reason that they're announcing this now is because of the success of games like The Avengers. And not at the beginning, but with the DLC, like the Clint and the Hawkeye. And, we've got our Marvel guys, but these are our people now that we like on the video game world. And they're trying to keep a separation. So I think this is good because too many times video games and entertainment and movies try to bleed into each other and create a perfect mix when in reality they're two different media platforms. The same as a comic book doesn't transfer very well to a movie. We've seen it does, but not the way a comic book is written. If you look at Ainsley Hulk, the way they try to do that kind of comic book as opposed to the Hulk we get now, it just doesn't transfer because they're two different platforms.
Right,
So stick to it. Tell a video game story. There's a reason The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima and God of War are so fucking good. And the movies suck because they're great video games.
Yeah, agree. Now, this next thing I don't want to spend too much time on, but when I got the news of this new James Bond game, I kind of went down a Google rabbit hole, as one does sometimes. Just Googling shit, and all of a sudden 3 hours have passed, and you're like, whoa, what just happened? So, have you heard of the sliding timeline theory for the James Bond, quote, continuity / universe?
No, and I was confused when I saw that, so I was like, maybe he'll tell me.
Yeah, so again, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but okay, so are you familiar with the concept of a sliding timeline?
Yes.
Okay, so take The Simpsons, for instance. The Simpsons has been on for 30 years. It's 2021 now, but the characters haven't aged, and the show is still, it still looks like it did when it debuted in the 90s, right? So a sliding timeline takes that into account. How could you have a show that's been around for 30 years, but Maggie's still a baby? It's because it takes place within the confines of a timeline that basically doesn't move. So to explain that a little bit better, take the James Bond movies, for instance. You have from Dr. No all the way to, what was the last one, Spectre?
Yeah.
Now, the Daniel Craig ones are clearly prequels, so they take place before Dr. No. But, there's shit that doesn't match up in terms of continuity. So the sliding timeline theory, I was reading up on this, says that every Bond, Sean Connery, Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig, okay? Yeah. All these stories, all these movies happened within their own respective timelines, but at different points in time. So Sean Connery's Dr. No happened in 1962, obviously, because you watch the movie, everything looks 60s, blah, 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 all that. But within the sliding timeline theory, Die Another Day also happened in Sean Connery's timeline, but instead of 2002, it happened in like the 70s. Vice versa, Pierce Brosnan had a Dr. No story happen to him, but in the 90s. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is really cool if you think about it. It's kind of a fucked up way to establish some sort of continuity, because in Die Another Day, I just watched that the other day. I don't know why. I must be masochistic or something, because that movie sucks. Pierce Brosnan was talking to Q, and he had the shoe with the knife from Russia with Love, and there was the jetpack from Thunderball. So clearly there's some kind of continuity there, albeit a loose one. And this sliding timeline theory makes it work. You can just say, well, this shit, from Russia with Love happened to Pierce Brosnan's Bond, but instead of the 60s, it took place in, 1995 or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, that's kind of like the way that you could sit back and if you wanted to look at a movie, say Die Hard 3, with all this stuff happening in New York City, which clearly it's not happening in New York City, but it's happening in an alternate New York City at the time. So, I actually kind of like that sliding timeline theory with James Bond. It makes sense. I mean, they try to...
Because if you don't have that theory, James Bond should be in his 90s right now.
Yeah, but then if you take a step back and you look at, okay, well, in the 007, just kind of like the Joker is a symbol or a number, because there's been a 006, and you look at the one with a... not Spectre, but I forgot which one it was, but the one where Skyfall. The one with is that the one with what's his fucking name? Where they tried to say Blofeld and James Bond were brothers?
Oh no, that was Spectre, because Blofeld wasn't in Skyfall.
Yeah, so you got the whole Judi Dench story, and they try to kind of tie in the past of James Bond stuff. So it's really kind of interesting the way they do that, and I think that James Bond is just very much kind of like a Jack Ryan, or whatever it is. Just
good one. Yeah, yes, good one.
Great stories, but how many different Jack Ryans and Jack Reachers and stuff have we had with the same thing? You know what I mean? So
wasn't Michael B. Jordan Jack Ryan for one movie?
I think or on Amazon first. No, I think he was on Amazon. I think he still is on Amazon.
Okay, yeah, I think I remember that. So you had Ben Affleck, you had John Krasinski, and Michael B. Jordan, Harrison Ford. Those are all Jack Ryans.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, a lot of adventures with Jack Ryan. So that's how I kind of look at James Bond. Jack Ryan is the American James Bond, except he's not as cool. But dude, I do have to say real quick, while we are talking about James Bond, I did watch You Only Live Twice, and...
the most racist one of all.
Yes. And dude, I'm watching this and the guy's like, dude, within a matter of a 4-minute montage, they tried to make Sean Connery Japanese by giving him this weird stuff on his eyes and a bowl cut. And I was like, but then as the movie goes on, you could tell Sean Connery didn't like the makeup, so he just kind of has a bowl cut and dark.
Well, who would?
Right. And I'm just like, what the fuck? How did Sean Connery agree to this movie? He said... Clearly, he is a white Scottish man trying to pretend to be Japanese, and I'm just like, who thought this was going to work? Why are we doing this movie?
The 60s, man. What you gonna do?
It's fucking wild, dude. It's crazy. And, dude, those movies they're so terrible. They're so good and beloved, but they're so bad. I love James Bond.
Breakfast at Tiffany's. I mean, you can there. It's a great movie. It's beloved, but I mean, it's hard not to cringe when you see Mickey Rooney doing the Chinese thing.
It is, dude. It really, really is. Like, it's hard to go and like watch I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry with Rob Schneider pretending to be an Asian man.
Oh my God! Oh man.
What's funny is that you know what? Let's keep going. This next one is fun.
This next one's cool. So you have HBO Max and Warner Brothers going, hey, we're going to release all our 2021 movies on HBO Max concurrently with the theaters. Now, Netflix came and did a similar thing. Same, but not the same, I guess. Netflix just announced that all Sony movies are coming to Netflix, not concurrently with the theater releases, but they will be coming to Netflix in some sort of exclusivity deal. And now this will include movies like Uncharted. I believe all the Spider-Verse movies like Venom and, all the other Spider-Man movies. So they're all going to be exclusive to Netflix, at least for as long as this exclusivity deal lasts. They're not going to be releasing at the same time as the theaters, though. This is the big thing. Now, Warner Brothers is still doing, we're going to release ours at the same time. Netflix is going to make you wait. What do you think about that?
I'm confused.
Does it even matter?
Well, I'm confused because Disney owns all of this, right?
Disney owns all the what?
Doesn't Disney own Sony Pictures?
No. Disney owns Fox.
I thought...
Yeah, Fox. So Sony is its own thing, which is why there's so much bickering and arguing regarding the Spider-Man character.
So that's where I was tripping at. That's where I was getting confused with... So Marvel didn't get Sony Pictures. They just got the rights to Spider-Man. That's where I got confused. They got Fox.
Yeah, Sony owns the rights to the Spider-Man character and, Venom and Morbius and all that. They've, for lack of a better phrase, allowed Disney/Marvel to use the character in their movies as part of
that's what
a multi-year deal.
That's why I got confused.
But at the end of the day, Sony owns it.
That makes sense. So, dude, I like this because Sony doesn't have anything that they're doing with this. And Netflix, again... I like Netflix, but I don't watch anything on Netflix. And I know that sounds bad, like I have Netflix, but I don't give a shit about most of their original movies or their shows. Like, it just, nothing really draws me in. I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever. I'd rather go back and watch Blazing Saddles or Young Frankenstein again than most of the shit that they've put out. But that's just me. I mean, and again, because Netflix just puts out a ton of stuff all the time. So I think this is a great get for Netflix because when you have competition,
you should watch Enola Holmes with your kids. That was a good movie.
Oh, Enola Holmes was great. Like, I've seen some of them. Some of the movies that I've seen, like Enola Holmes.
It's a lot of fun.
Right. I mean, we talked about that in an episode. I said, if I paid to see that in the theater, I'd be okay with that. And that was a good movie. Yeah. So Netflix has those, but they're very few and far in between. Because every now and then you are going to get a gold. But like The Irishman was supposed to be their huge movie, and it just kind of floundered because you got a young-looking Robert De Niro who runs and punches like an 80-year-old man. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So like, I think that this is a huge get for Netflix and that they need this because this will draw me back to Netflix. Because what I've been finding happening, at least for me, is I don't really give two shits about the original stuff, but if I go on HBO Max after watching Godzilla or I'm in Prime Video after watching Invincible and I all of a sudden end up on a rabbit hole and then I'm digging down and digging down and digging down and then I'm finding movies that I want to watch. I'm not doing that with Netflix because there's nothing to even get me into Netflix. Like, so...
Well, they have like Stranger Things and stuff.
Yeah, but Stranger Things hasn't done anything in 2 years.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's few and far in between. Like, I loved The Haunting of Hill House, the first season. I didn't like the second season, so I didn't care. I was like, okay, get rid of that. Stranger Things 1, 2, and 3 is great. I liked Black Mirror, but that was a BBC show that got taken over to Netflix. So, again, it doesn't really matter. I think this is dope. I like this because, again... it's 2022. People are still going to go to theaters. Theaters are opening up. I have stocks in theaters, so please go see movies when it's safe, guys. But this is cool because a lot of people still aren't going to go out, and people travel and stuff like that, and this is going to be a good way to get movies out. And we had talked about this before, but I think this is going to be the future. Because remember, a movie would come out in theaters, you had to wait 6, 8 months, a year, 18 months
forever,
to come out on video or DVD. And
yeah.
Now it really is just send in a digital transfer code. So I think that we're going to start seeing this, a couple weeks in between, because what makes more sense to have my family go and spend $50 one time to go see a movie and get popcorn and spend $100 to go out one time, or to continuously get $15 from me a month, every single month over years so I can watch these movies.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned how long it used to take movies to come out to video, because I remember as clear as day Terminator 2 coming out in the theaters, and I wasn't allowed to go see it in the theaters. Not because it was rated R and all that, but because, my family was poor and we couldn't afford it.
Makes sense.
by the time it came out on VHS and I was actually able to buy a copy and watch it, I was in a whole other grade.
Yeah. It was a journey. Like, I just remember waiting because, you couldn't see a movie in theaters or you missed it or whatever it was. So, yeah, plus two, I mean, no offense, but the release record of Sony movies isn't exactly the best, and they don't have the biggest box office numbers. I mean, Venom I thought was really great, but like I don't really give two shits about Morbius. I don't know anything about it. They've kind of hid that. Uncharted.
Yeah, I mean, as big of a comic fan as I am, I'm probably not going to see Morbius until I can see it for free.
Right.
And even then, I really have to be in a mood to give up 2 hours of my life for it.
Dude, absolutely. And even when it comes to Uncharted, I have no faith in Uncharted. A, because all the video game movies have been garbage, and B, fuck Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Sorry, and
I really don't like the young Nathan Drake thing. I just don't.
No.
And this is my own fault, but unless you're going to make an Uncharted movie with Nathan Fillion, I'm not going to watch it.
Well, dude,
he's Nathan Drake.
I think we see a recurring problem now, and this is what I liked about older movies, and this is what I liked about like old school Superman or old school Batman movies.
Okay.
I don't need to go back and see Superman, how he got his colors or whatever the fuck it is. Let me just see Superman.
Yeah.
I don't need to see Uncle Ben die again and again and again.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why these new Tom Holland Spider-Mans work so well. We didn't see the origin for the 19th time.
Like, I have just played through 4 Uncharted games. I don't give a fuck what Nathan Drake did when he was 14 because I don't care. Like it doesn't pull me in.
Yeah,
I don't
made us
care.
Play it.
Right. I don't care about his first mission. I don't care about the training. I know the story of Nathan Drake. I know what's going on because I've sat here for over a decade and invested my time into playing these games.
Yeah.
So I don't care about this. Unless you're going to give me a continuation of what I know, don't give me this.
Yeah.
And don't try to make a movie for, what about people who've never played Uncharted? Fuck them. This isn't for them. Like, these are for the fans. Fuck them kids.
Is Mark Wahlberg playing Sully?
Yes.
What the fuck? How is Robert De Niro not Sully?
I don't because he didn't beat enough Vietnamese people.
I guess so. I don't understand how we don't have an Uncharted movie with Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake and fucking Robert De Niro or Sam Elliott or someone like that as Sully.
I'm sorry, Bruce Campbell
Why the fuck
is Sully?
Mark Wahlberg Sully?
Why don't we have Bruce Campbell as Sully?
Oh, no. Okay, good one. Yes, fucking Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
That'd be even better.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
And again, not going to get upset.
Oh my God, that would be a good Sully.
Dude, right? I'm just saying this because Bruce Campbell is one of my favorite people of all time, but I think he'd be a great... he would be good. And... I don't have hopes for this, and it just bothers me. So the fact that they're going to bring it out to Netflix, cool, man. I like that. And I'm fine with that. Like, give it to me, but I want it's hard to explain, man. It's just Godzilla.
Well, let's move on to some better news then.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets frustrating because. Yeah, I'm just tired of them doing this shit. Like the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, fucking terrible, and the Tomb Raider movies.
God, let's even not.
It's just like, dude, just stop. I've already done it. Stop wasting your fucking money.
Yeah. Well, what can you do? But hey, on the happier news, we finally have an official confirmation from the mouth of the horse himself. No, I'm not calling Alfred Molina a horse.
Have you seen him lately? He's a horse. Dude's built like a fucking... he's a solid built man. And I don't mean that in a bad way. He is just... Yeah. He is a dude that if he was mad at me, all right, bro, I'm done. He looks like a Walter.
Well, Walter / Alfred Molina is confirmed from his own mouth as coming back as Doc Ock from Spider-Man 3. And not only that... I'm sure you read the article. I read the article. We'll link it in the show notes. He said the story of the Spider-Man 3 No Way Home Doc Ock basically continues right from after he dies in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy is that
there's going to be some multiverse fuckery going on.
Well, he said something that stuck out to me that I thought was really fucking funny, and I got to try to find it in the article because I want to make sure that he says it right. I guess he says, oh, how am I going to come back, because I died. And I guess the director said, nobody ever dies in this universe.
Yeah.
So, which leads me to believe, wait a second. So I'm thinking he's fallen, because we saw him just fall into the water and drown.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he gets taken into the multiverse at that point, and it just continues on. But he gave us, there it is right there. In this universe, no one really dies. That's what the director said, which is, okay, perfect. I can't believe I skipped over that. I feel stupid. But anyways, though, so I think that doing this is dope. But Alfred Molina gave away so much in this interview that I can't believe Marvel didn't have a sniper shoot him in the head. Because this is like Tom Holland level shit that he was releasing here.
I was going to say, no one can say shit about Tom Holland now because Alfred Molina unless this is misdirection.
Right, but I mean, like he said right here, look at me, look what they did to Bob Jr. and Sam Jackson. You know, they can make my face look younger, you know, and then he's like, the tentacles do all the work. I don't have the same physicality, that's just a fact, but the tentacles do all the work. So all I have to do is sit here and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, which means we're going to get a battle scene with Doc Ock where his tentacles are going fucking bananas and doing stuff.
And we're actually going to get a Doc Ock, not just a Dr. Octavius.
Right, and he has put in time in this, and that we're going to get a story. We're not just going to get here's a 30-second clips of Doc Ock.
Yeah.
So, like, for him to say this just blows open the whole multiverse. And this is, so listen.
Yeah.
So, which means his story picks up in 2004, the second he dies, which means we're getting fucking Tobey Maguire. There's no other way.
There's no way we don't get Tobey Maguire at this point.
Right. And it's been confirmed Willem Dafoe's coming back. Am I correct on this?
Yeah.
So,
well, not confirmed, but confirmed as in through bullshit websites like Inverse or We Got This Covered. So and confirmed / not confirmed.
Right. And we're getting Michael Keaton to come back in because he was at the end of the last Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
We're getting Jamie Foxx is confirmed as Electro coming back.
That is confirmed, yeah.
Right. Which means we're getting fucking Andrew Garfield. Confirmed. I'm sorry, but after what Alfred Molina said, it's 100%. Which means that everything that the entire world, but us here at Speak Geek have been telling you guys about forever, is that we're going to get something that we've never seen before in a movie. And I think that this is ambitious. It scares me.
It really does. I mean, we're not talking about like Endgame or Justice League where you have a bunch of characters from the exact same production studio coming together for a team-up film. We're crossing distribution, production companies. I mean, we're going... This is unseen.
And again, I hope we're not overplaying this in our head, you know, like making it seem like it's going to be better than it is. But
it's hard not to.
But from what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing, we're going to get just amazing movie. And John Watts, the guy who's directing it, he's only a couple years older than us. I think he's 40, maybe?
Yeah, so he's fresh.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
He's fresh. And he's done Homecoming, Far From Home. He knows what he's doing. So I like the fact that they're continuing with the same director, because when you do this, you saw what happened with who the fuck were the Russos with the Avengers.
Yes.
And it carried on, and to me that's awesome, because that's what we needed to have. So I think that with this story, it's going to be carried very well. I'm just, again, nervous on how well it's going to be, because when you look at Spider-Man 3 with Sam Raimi, you have all these bad guys and all the stuff that's going on, and that was the biggest problem, oversaturation, too much of this going on, too much of that going on. You know, so, I mean, how do you pigeonhole this into a well...
Marvel has proven they can do the ensemble cast well. Unlike a lot of other studios.
Absolutely, but like you just said, though, they're just not pulling everybody from the same studio who's all had interactions. Alfred Molina has never, ever had an interaction with Tom Holland, as far as, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's completely different generations and gaps and stories and universes, and I feel like that's where this movie, Spider-Man 3, has the opportunity to be this launching point, or it has this opportunity to just be a hot garbage mess of shit. And I'm hoping that it's not a hot garbage
I'll still
mess
see
of
it.
Shit. Right, I'm gonna fucking see it. But I'm just hoping that it's not as ambitious and over the top as we think it is and we're hoping for. But I'm also hoping that it's a lot more than just like, oh look, here's a quick glimpse into Toby, and you know, like here's a 5-minute fight scene of Doc Ock, or you know what I'm saying, like maybe he wakes up.
I think Sony Pictures took one look at the money Endgame made, and they went, we need to somehow make this happen. We need to do our own ensemble cast, because clearly the audience likes these team up movies, so we need to do our own. I'm pretty sure that's all that happened.
I would love to see like Doc Ock, you know, goes into the fucking water and he gets sucked into a multiverse, and then all of a sudden he shows up in 2022 and he's fucking fighting. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like, you kind of get these small, like, 10-minute stories of all these people, or 20-minute, whatever you got to do to make it great. And we cannot forget that Woody Harrelson has been cast as Carnage and Tom Hardy as Venom.
Correct.
So, are they going to be in this fucking Spider-Man movie too?
Considering Sony owns all of them and they technically share the same universe, I think it would be silly for Sony to not at least have a post-credit sequence with the two of them,
right?
Or one of them.
Absolutely.
I mean, all that needs to fucking happen to make this work, in my opinion. I mean, who knows what they're going to do. All that needs to happen is at the very end of the movie, you have the credits play for a minute or two, and then you have a mid-credit sequence of Tom Holland walking down the street talking to MJ or Ned or whatever, and someone bumps into him, and he goes, "Oh, excuse me," and it's fucking Tom Hardy.
Right.
That's all that needs to happen to make it work.
That's it. It's just enough, because I liked Venom. I thought Venom was it was a dope ass, just get in, hold on, let's have fun
like a B movie.
It
was good for what it was.
Just like, that's how I look at Aquaman. You know, it was a great get in, hold on, just have fucking fun. So I'm really excited for it. I mean, I just want to know more of what they're gonna do. But again, I'm just fingers crossed that it's gonna be okay. You know, I'm hoping. Yeah.
Now, there's also news from Paramount that there's going to be a new Star Trek movie in 2023, and that it's very likely to not continue the, I know it's called the Kelvinverse, but I'm calling it the Chris Pineverse.
Yeah.
So Star Trek is another franchise that's kind of doing this whole. I mean, you have Star Trek, you have Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, Voyager, all those shows. And then you have the movies. Then you have Discovery. Then you have Picard. Then you have this Kelvinverse. It's kind of all over the fucking place, but supposedly sharing the same universe / mirror universes. Now, is Quentin Tarantino still doing his Star Trek film? Is this happening, or was this debunked and not happening?
I think there's still talk of it, but I don't know if he's going to do it. But I know that he is a huge Star Trek fan, and it's something that he wants to do. Yeah. But he also, he's kind of precarious with his movies, and I don't know if a Star Trek is up his wheelhouse. I also just want to say a quick thing on Quentin Tarantino here. I just watched Grindhouse Death Proof the other day,
nice.
Like 2 days ago when I was at work. It was just kind of on the background, and I will tell you right now, that is one of Tarantino's best movies. It's definitely up there. I did not like it every other time I saw it until this one time, and what's funny is that I read something that made me like the movie even more, and they said that when this movie was being written and directed, it was around the same time that the Harvey Weinstein stuff started coming out.
Okay.
And this was Tarantino's way for the women to finally get their comeuppance on Harvey Weinstein. And that's kind of
I love that.
So, like, the whole thing was Kurt Russell was this creepy predator Harvey Weinstein type who destroyed these women and got away with it. But at the end, the bigger women that he thought was going to bring him down, that he was going to kill, he was like, my bad, this was all fun. Ended up getting him at the end. And looking at it through that light, oh my fucking God, is that movie fantastic. Yeah. It's just, sorry.
And you were just talking about Tarantino being kind of picky with his movies. I think Tarantino is at his best when he becomes obsessed with a genre. And he has to make his own version of it. The kung fu film, the pulp action novel, what was the other one? The Western, whatever the case may be, the World War II film. When he gets into a genre and does his version of it, that's his best work. So, again, I don't, you were right. I don't know how much he wants to redo Star Trek. But here's the thing. It is being produced by Abrams. So what does that mean? Are we just getting a continuation of the Chris Pine? Are we doing a reboot? I mean, they've already rebooted it. Do we really need another reboot?
See, I hope
Is it going to continue?
What I hope, I would see. Star Trek is one of those. Star Trek is one of those shows that does not need to be like Star Wars, and I feel like they're trying to make it like Star Wars. You do not have to continue the Kirk start. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all love, Star Trek, the NCC 17014, the Star Trek. We all love Star Trek Enterprise. We love it. But there's also it's a massive galaxy out there, so you can tell so many stories in this Star Trek universe that doesn't have to be a continuation. So.
Absolutely. I just want them to do a Star Trek movie that takes place within the confines of the Star Trek reality, but a completely new ship and a completely new crew. I don't even want to fucking say Klingons or Romulans. Just give me something completely new, but set within that universe.
Dude, that's just,
and I'll be happy.
Seth MacFarlane has that show, the oh my god,
the Orville.
The Orville, and I love the first two seasons because it really isn't. It's not.
Yeah, that's a good show.
It's not what I thought it was going to be. It really is like a Star Trek with some humor, and it's great. Yeah. And you can tell
that's why Galaxy Quest was so good.
Right, exactly, dude. And so I think that there's so much more that we can do in the Star Trek universe where they can tell those stories because again, space is ever expanding. So why aren't we telling more?
Yeah, I completely agree. So, again, it's not game-breaking news or anything. I mean, we knew Star Trek wasn't just going to die and never have another one. I just thought it was interesting that, you have this uncertainty with an Abrams-produced Star Trek, allegedly, and, no one knows if it's going to be Pine or anything. So, I guess we'll see. But this last thing I want to bring up to kind of round out our show, did you hear this news about the new Disney retractable lightsaber that they're going to be selling soon?
No. And I was going to ask you about this because I'm like, hold up.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm fucking excited because I collect lightsabers.
Yes.
So Disney has developed and patented a retractable lightsaber that they're going to be selling, I assume, at Galaxy's Edge in the parks, possibly online. I don't know what it is. But what it essentially is it's going to use, quote, tape measure technology. Now, a tape measure can be held in this little thing, but it can extend out to what, 5, 6, 7 feet?
Yeah.
And it's semi-solid when you extend it out because it has that, that thin metal, but it's curved, so it can maintain some sort of rigidity.
Yeah.
Now, this new lightsaber tech, basically picture tape measure technology, but instead of like a half circle shape, it's completely circular. So it's even more rigid.
Dude.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it can fit inside the hilt of a lightsaber. It has a thing where you push a button, it goes and it comes out. Now, the only downside is like the two lightsabers I have hanging up in my apartment. You and I could pull those off the wall and just start hacking at each other and they'll stand up.
Yep.
Because they're made for, they're combat ready sabers, so to speak. My only concern about this Disney retractable saber, which, mark my words, I will be getting one.
Oh, yeah.
Is, once you extend it, is it just going to collapse on itself like a tape measure? Or is it actually going to maintain some sort of rigidity so you can, maybe not do fake combat with it, but, if I want to, be the Star Wars kid in the privacy of my own living room.
That's true.
Will I be able to do that?
Yeah, I would think so.
It's just cool that we're getting this type of a design.
It blows my mind. I love it, dude. I like it. I think it's cool. I've always wanted to own a lightsaber, and I don't because I spend my money on Legos instead. But dude, your lightsaber.
Dude, you can have my black one at work.
Don't tease me.
Do you want that one?
Yes.
No, you can have that one.
Oh fuck yes.
My Sith saber. Oh. I will gift it to you as an early Christmas gift.
Yeah, Christmas in April.
Because once I bring everything back from my cubicle, I'm not gonna have anywhere to fucking put it in my apartment.
That's true. That's true. I have a garage. You can store yourself here and come over and see it whenever you want, buddy.
Absolutely, but you can for sure have my Sith lightsaber.
Oh hell yes, dude! I'm gonna wear that and carry it everywhere I go. Dude,
we will play fight the shit every time I come over. But anyways,
I love it, dude. I fucking love it, man. Dude, so. Quick thing, I want to say something real quick. I watched a movie the other night called Freaky, starring Vince Vaughn and I forget the other chick's name inside the movie.
That's the one you sent me the screenshot of?
Yes. No, that's a movie called Freaked. That one's a great movie. I talked about that one.
Right, Freaked.
But this one is it's freaky, and it's got Vince Vaughn in it, and it's a body swap horror comedy movie. And Vince Vaughn plays this serial killer who takes his dagger, and when he goes to kill this girl and stabs her, they switch bodies. So now Vince Vaughn is a 17-year-old girl, and it's this killer now in school. And it is fantastic. It's Vince Vaughn back at top form. I think it's great. It is a must-watch. It's on sale in iTunes. You've got to check it out. I love it. I think it's hilarious. I'm going to have to watch it again. Me and my wife watched it a couple nights ago. I dug it. I thought it was great. Definitely check it out.
I'll borrow it from your iTunes.
Please do. Please do. It is definitely, it's gory, it's bloody, it's not what I expected. I was fucking mind blown. I was like, oh my God, this is great.
When was this made?
I think it just came out in 2020. 2021, I think. Let me see.
Oh, so it's not like an early Vince Vaughn.
No, I mean this is the Vince Vaughn's newest movie. Yeah, it came out September 2020, yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, yeah.
It's really, and he has 24 hours to change stuff. It's just good, man. It's really good. Dude, I fucking love it. You got to check it out. It's fucking good, dude. I like it.
Absolutely.
And then dude, don't forget this weekend, 23rd, Mortal Kombat comes out.
Yes, and obviously we'll be talking about that. But so far,
yes.
Other than the Justice League, and I was excited for Kong versus Godzilla, don't get me wrong. But other than Justice League, Mortal Kombat, this is my jam.
Yes.
I'm waiting for this.
We will.
And so far, early reviews seem to be very, very positive.
Yes. It comes out the 23rd, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Is that Thursday?
So next Friday. Yep.
Okay, yeah, so then... Friday. So then on Saturday, we will have a good review of this for you because I can't wait to see it. We get a rated R Mortal Kombat with fatalities and blood. I fucking want it. Oh my God,
let's do a watch party.
Let's do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, Friday night. We'll get together and watch it.
We will make it happen. Is there anything else we need to talk about, Tony?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Right, well, other than I took it off the list because it wasn't huge reviews, but congrats to Will Ospreay for winning the NWA, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. It's always nice to see a small flippy floppy guy win something like that. So big ups to him. I like Will Ospreay.
There you go, man.
Yeah. But no, I think that's it. I want to thank everyone for being patient with us and listening. You can follow me on Twitter at ToneZone81.
You can give me at BruceBane66.
And also, I want to mention that the guy that does our theme song, Lost Years, he just released a new album. It's the album cover is Top Gun style, so it's really cool. So go check out Lost Years' new album on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to your music. I'm always going to push him because I love his fucking music.
Absolutely, brother. That sounds great.
Yep, and thank you for listening. We will catch you next time for our Mortal Kombat review.
Later, Gators.